My wife's estranged, delusional parents showed up to our ranch, claiming it was their home. They called the sheriff, but they did not expect what he did. I live in a very rural area on a small ranch that has been with my family since my grandfather. My wife and I married in a small ceremony with about 20 friends and family members. The only person to show up from her family was her uncle. There was, however, one topic that wife did not like to discuss. It was her birth parents. At first, all she would say was there was bad blood between them. Early on, that was fine. We didn't know each other yet. But after the engagement, I wanted to know more about her and know what exactly I was diving into. Her mother, the professor, worked in a college teaching a class I most likely would never attend. Her father, Phil, was, as wife described, a weak man that does what the professor demands. Some of the things the wife described the professor as doing sounded absurd and borderline insane. It included her trying to get the wife a girlfriend in middle school, insisting the wife was a lesbian. Now, the wife is a bit of a tomboy. There's no denying that. But she is also most definitely not a lesbian. There was a period when the professor wanted to live a natural lifestyle, and she asked Ephial's brother to let them live on his farm. Within a week, the professor hated the farm and dragged them both back to the city. My wife, on the other hand, felt like she finally found something she liked and really connected with her uncle. My wife left home when she was 16 and lived with her uncle until she was 18. All while she was with uncle, the professor kept threatening to drag her back. She never did. After my wife turned 18, she went to school, received a 4-year degree, and tried to work an office job, but found it unfulfilling. She started to take the bus and work odd jobs in rural areas, looking for something that fit what she was looking for. That was when our paths crossed. Onto the issue, last year, around March, we started getting mail addressed to the professor and FIL, bills and bank statements and such. I found this strange, and my wife wanted to trash it. I started marking them return to sender and no such occupant, and dropped them right back into the mailbox. This came to a head in October when I was cleaning up the yard and a bright white SUV drove up. The wife looked up and turned pale. "Oh God, it's them," she said. Out stepped a rotund woman and a thin man who only had a passing resemblance to her uncle. The professor immediately walked up to my wife. She asked them what they were doing on our farm. Her mother replied, "The university is doing virtual classes, and with COVID, we figured we could self-isolate at our ranch." The "our" had a weird emphasis. I said, "Excuse me, but this isn't your ranch." She said, "Oh, I'm sure we can have the ownership all cleared up." "Well, aren't you going to invite us in?" I told her, "Ma'am, you may be my wife's mother, but you are a stranger to me. I would rather not." The professor turned to FIL and said, "Make the call." FIL instantly got on the phone with the police and started spinning a tale about us not letting them into the house that they equally own with us. I couldn't believe what I heard and how insane it was being spun. Luckily, as I said before, small town. The sheriff pulled up, and it was someone I had known for most of my life. He also knew that this land was in my family's name for 3 generations. The sheriff asked what was happening and said, "What's this I hear about you selling half your ranch, Duke?" Me, I didn't. These are my wife's parents, and they think they have a legal stake in my land. Her mother said, "Not think. No. We've lived here since February. With tenant laws, that means." Sheriff, funny, I don't remember you in town. That shut the professor right up for a second. But then she reached into her bag and pulled out a stack of letters. A lot of them the bills and bank statements, with the ranch's address. Professor, then how do you explain these? The sheriff took the letters and looked at them. "Ma'am, these are all marked return to sender." The professor turned desperate. She then said, "Please, I haven't seen my daughter in years. I just want to make sure she's okay. Surely you can see that he is controlling her every move." The sheriff rolled his eyes and walked over to talk to his wife and me. Again, the sheriff likes to solve problems between people, and he hasn't encountered this level of crazy before. The sheriff said, "All right, they don't want you here. Best you two not come back." The two protested briefly, but then piled back into the SUV and drove off, with the sheriff trailing right behind to make sure they were completely off the property.